About it. Good for Justin Amash.
David Jolly, I'm going to put up your valedictory. You wrote one as well when you left the party. I'm going to quote a little bit from it here. You can't be never Trump and be a Republican. That's the clearest and most unequivocal conclusion to which I've regrettably but genuinely arrived, and it took something more than politics to finally convince me that the fight for the heart and soul of the Republican Party has been lost to darker angels, to a darker leader. You know well that on this network and other networks there are plenty of never Trump Republicans who sit around the table, talk about the party, talk about where things are, but a number of them have not left the Republican Party. And I wonder how much thought you've given to why that is. If we so closely associate the Republican Party to President Trump, he has shaped it, he's reshaped it, I guess you could say. Why have so few people left the party in the way that you have and now Justin Amash has?
Yeah, and I think they should, and I'm so glad you asked this question, David, because understand, Justin and I come from very different ideological standpoints. He thinks the party is not rigid enough. You know, he is a libertarian, kind of down-the-line constitutionalist. I, representing a purple district, thinks that the party is too rigid, if you will, at times. But on the fundamental issue of how the party has dealt with Trump, they have not just tolerated him, they have celebrated him. And throughout history, we get to judge the decision-making of our political leaders at times of national security crisis, at times of economic security crisis. Now we face a political crisis in the rise of Donald Trump, and it is fair to judge how the Republican Party has embraced him and celebrated him. And I say that because I believe the reason I left the party is I cannot point to a single leader in today's Republican Party and think that one day I would associate with them or trust their leadership or decision-making. I think the Republican Party has been lost for a generation. I cannot see returning to a coalition of Republican voters that would include today's Republican leaders and be able to explain that to the daughter that caused me to first reflect on this as to why I should have left last fall. That is the issue that among never-Trumpers, I think, it is hard to suggest that you never Trumper and still a Republican, because this fight has already been won and has been celebrated by the victors. Justin Amash's most purely defined constitutional conservatives that had always pushed back on these types of failures in ideology have instead, as a Freedom Caucus, embraced and celebrated this press. And congratulations, Justin, for saying enough is enough.
We will leave it there. Former Congressman, former Republican David Jolly joining us from Florida this morning. Thank you very much for the time. And up next, the feud at the top. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris go toe-to-toe over the former VP's record on civil rights. Joe Biden says it is getting personal.
But I wasn't prepared for the person coming